Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Bobi, aka Paginator, and I'm here today to talk about what I'm currently reading, what I just finished reading, and that good stuff. So it is Sunday, the 23rd, at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I just got back from church. And shortly before I left to go to church, I finished this sucker, Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. It was one of the books that I picked for my August TBR. You can tell I want to get through 2020, right? Anyway, this was fantastic. I had read Uprooted by Naomi Novik and kind of liked it. It was 3, maybe low 4 stars for me. This one, 5 stars. All the way. This is kind of a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, but kind of not, and there's a lot of winter elements, and it's very interesting. We have 3 actual we have 3 female main characters. We have Miriam, who is kind of the girl in the Rumpelstiltskin story, if there is one. She is caught bragging that she can turn silver into gold because she is a money changer and can often, through her bargaining and finagling and selling and buying things, do that. And the Stark King, who's like the fairy king or something like that, challenges her 3 times to turn his silver into gold, and if she does, she can be his bride. And she doesn't really want to, but if she doesn't do it, then she'll be turned into ice, which basically means she'll be killed. So she kind of gets forced into this situation. And then we also have Wanda, who works for Miriam's family. She's a helper, and she also is very, very abused by her father. He's a drunk and a beater, and he is basically garbage. And she is trying desperately to ingratiate herself more with Miriam's family and become part of their household so that she can spend more time away from her father. And she also has 2 little brothers to look out for her. And the third girl is Irina, and she is the daughter of a duke, and this duke is really wanting to scheme to get her to marry the Tsar. And these 3 characters' stories come together in a way that's very interesting, and they kind of end up helping each other to conquer the evil forces in their lives. Something that's also really interesting is that Miriam is Jewish, and it's not very often that you get a Jewish lead character in a high fantasy book, so that was really interesting. And there was lots of magic and beautiful world building, and anyway, highly recommend this. Alright, so you guys picked for me, and I'm sorry my voice is cutting it out, I don't know why. You guys picked for me to read All the Stars and Teeth. I posted 5 options, and this was the one that got the most votes. This is by Adeline Grace, and this is a from what I understand, piratey, mermaidy adventure with also involving magic. But the other book that got quite a few votes is Girl, Serpent, and Thorn. So, this is what I'm going to do. On my August TBR, I have one more book that I officially picked for August that I haven't read, which is this one, Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palpretto. I am going to start, as soon as I'm done filming this little bit, to read All the Stars and Teeth. And I may come back a couple of times as I read it. If I have time to get through both of these other 2 books, then I will also read Girl, Serpent, and Thorn and include it and tell you my thoughts about it. I really want to read it anyway, so I'm going to get to it eventually. I just don't know if that's going to be right away soon or not. So, again, coming back to All the Stars and Teeth, this book, I love the cover, and I'm going to use the turquoise and blue, green, and purple on my bullet journal. I've gotten the habit in the past 6 months or so to do chapter trackers in my bullet journal, and I'll show you the one that I have set up for this book. Some of them turn out looking great, some of them look stupid. This is my spread for All the Stars and Teeth. We have a mermaid tail because I was trying to think of what I could easily draw that would go with this story. And I've split that up into chapters, so you can see I'm starting in the tail with chapter 1. And as I finish each chapter, I will color it in. I just did some simple lettering at the top, and then on every bullet journal page I put when I started it, when I finished it, and when I'm done. I color in the amount of stars that I want to give it for my compile rating. I do use G from Book Roast's compile rating system because there's no use inventing your own rating system if another one works for you, right? So we're getting ready to dive into this book, and I'm super excited. So I also have to make bread today. Well, I don't have to, but I am choosing to. I have a wonderful bread recipe from my grandma, and it's like epically amazing good bread, and I just feel like baking today, and it's raining and thundering outside, and that's a great day to bake because then your house doesn't get super hot. So anyway, I am off to read and also bake. Don't think I can do that at the same time, but we'll see what I can figure out. Hello. So a little while ago when I first talked to you, it was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and now it's almost 6 in the evening, and I have read 15 chapters in All the Stars and Teeth and baked 5 loaves of bread. 1 large regular size loaf, I guess, and 4 baby loaves. Only 1 of which I get to keep. Anyway, it's going to be delicious. And I'm basically gobbling up this book. It has been so good. As I mentioned, I've read 15 chapters, so I have colored in 15 of the boxes in my bullet journal pages. There are 35 chapters plus an epilogue, so we've still got a little ways to go. But this book is so engaging. I'm just really enjoying reading this story. So to tell you a little bit about the book and what's happening thus far in the story, we have our main character, Amora Montara, and she is set to rule next. She is going to be what's called the High Animancer, and that means the person who controls the soul magic. What happens is this. They live in a kingdom called Visidia, and it's made up of a bunch of different islands. And there's a map in the beginning of the book, which is always good in my opinion. And each of these islands is represented by a different gemstone, and the people who live there practice a different type of magic. And you're only allowed to practice one type of magic, because in the past there was a beast that came and was teaching people to use all different kinds of magic, and it was slowly destroying their souls. And the Monteras, the first Montera, Amora's ancestor, was able to defeat the beast and take in his magic. And he was the only wielder of the soul magic, which I'll tell you about in just a second. And his line has therefore been the ones to take on the responsibility of holding on to that magic, because if the magic were to not be used or to be gotten out of control, the beast could return. And it could spell the end of the kingdom or whatever. So Amora is supposed to do this big public demonstration of her magic, and soul magic does 2 things. Basically, she can read people's souls. She can look them in the eye and tell if they have a good soul or a bad one. And the other thing she can do is cause someone's death. So basically, her magic allows her to determine a person's soul quality and to kill people. So in order to feed the magic and keep it in control, once a year she and her father have to kill someone, and they are sure to choose someone from the prison who they're able to read their soul and see that they are a vile person who would continue to murder and do awful things if they were let out. So in this public demonstration, 10 people are placed before her, some of which are actual murders and bad people, and some are placed there for her as a test. And she's going to first demonstrate her soul reading magic by choosing a victim, and then by killing that person with her soul magic. Something goes wrong, she starts to panic, and bad things happen. I don't want to tell you every detail of the plot, so just suffice it to say that something really bad happens, and her life is now in danger. She is kind of freed from this situation by a young man named Bastion, who's a pirate. And I love that name, Bastion. It makes me think of the Neverending Story. So good. Anyway, Bastion claims that he has had some magic stolen from him, and he will agree to help her restore her good name and help save the kingdom if she will help him get his magic back. And so they go to his ship, and she goes with him. Her fiance, who is also someone with magic, has restorative magic, which means he can heal both himself and others. He sneaks onto or stows away on the ship with them. So there is kind of a triangle set up it's not really a love triangle. The fiance, we can tell, is clearly enamored of her, and she appreciates his friendship, but she's not like in love with him. And then we have Bastion, who is flirty, but nothing more. And I don't know if that's going to develop into something deeper later in the book, but I'll tell you something that I really love about Bastion. At one point, they're in this port city, and they sneak into a store to get some clothing because she kind of had to leave without. And she picks up this necklace that has curse magic attached to it, and she feels like her whole body, like she's being suffocated with spiders and bugs and things crawling down her throat. She's not. It's this illusion created by this curse magic, and in order to stop the magic, she has to let go of the necklace. Her fiance rushes to grab something and wants to pull the necklace out of her grasp, and Bastion says, "No, wait, she can do this." And he goes up to her, and he presses his forehead against hers, and he says, "You are strong enough to do this. Break this magic. Let go of the necklace." Not in those exact words, but you get what I'm saying. And I thought that was such a beautiful thing that he's like, nope, she can do this, and I'm going to help her, but she can do this herself. Thought that was really awesome. So if there's going to be a relationship develop stronger between Amora and Bastion, I would be in favor of it, because he respects her and is not just using her. At least it seems that way at this point. Anyway, I'm not quite halfway through the book. You can see my bookmark where it is right here. So I'm getting close to halfway, but not quite. There are some things that I'm still wondering about. Amora's aunt is set to take over the kingdom if things don't get fixed, and there's some shady things going on, because there's this guy Cavan who is trying to lead an uprising against Amora's father, and he's trying to recruit troops, but a lot of people don't trust him. And at the point where I am in the story now, our three heroes are off on the quest for a mermaid, and we'll see if they can find one. I keep saying her fiance and now not saying his name, so I should tell you his name is Ferric. It shouldn't be that hard for me to remember, because it's like my brother's name but with a different first letter. My brother's Derek, this fiance is Ferric. That's how I need to remember it, so I don't keep forgetting his name. Is that a bad sign that I'm forgetting his name constantly? Anyway, I'm really enjoying the book so far, and I will let you know how it goes once I'm further in. Well, hey there, I'm back again. It's now about 10 o'clock in the evening, and I have now read 28 chapters, I believe, in All the Stars and Teeth. It is so action-packed, like, it does not stop, and I just keep going. So my mermaid tale is getting filled up, and I'm soon going to be at the end. I don't know if I will stay up late tonight and finish it or not, because I do need to sleep before I go to work tomorrow. We don't have kids yet at school, but still kind of need to be professional and do my job. But anyway, I am going to stop here, and I will let you know what I think about the book when it is all done and over with. It's 12:15. I finished reading All the Stars and Teeth just before midnight, and I laid there for 15-20 minutes thinking about the book, and I'm not wanting to go to sleep, so here I am. So All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. Whew, what a good read. So I started this at 1 o'clock or so this afternoon and finished it shortly before midnight. I'd say that that's a sign of a good book for sure if I can devour it that quickly. To give you a little bit, but not too much information regarding the ending, we have, and basically from where I picked off telling you what, did I just say picked off? It's late. Anyway, where I picked up telling you at the end of chapter 15, our three characters, I almost said Miriam because I was reading Spinning Silver this morning. That's not right. Amora and Bastion and Ferric can continue to have a lot of high seas adventures, as well as learn some secrets about the magic that's going on in the world, and things are not exactly as Amora thought they were. There is a sea monster that's very much like a kraken, which that scene was really interesting and fun to read. Every chapter just had lots of action and like plot changes and all kinds of things just move, which I'm sure is what helped me read this so fast. I don't want to say too much more because I am afraid I will spoil things, but I will show you because I know some of you are going to ask. Yes, I finished coloring in my mermaid's tail for all of the chapters in the book, and here that is. And you can see that I've colored in all 5 stars for my Cop Battle rating. I do need to add the date finished, but I didn't have the right pen. It's out in the front room, and I was too tired to walk out there. So anyway, even though I'm not super sleepy, I'm like really tired, if that makes any sense. But sometimes when that happens, I just can't go to sleep. So I am going to be taking Girl Serpent Thorn back to my bedroom with me and just seeing if I need to read a bit of that to help myself get sleepy and ready for bed. If you don't remember, this one is about a princess who is cursed to be poisonous to the touch. I think she's a princess. Yes. And her name is Soraya. And she's going to try to live a normal life, and she meets this guy who can kind of see beyond this poisonous person. But we know that things are going to go wrong, and she's going to have to confront some things and have some kind of battle to make her own choices in life, I'm sure. So again, I will be starting Girl Serpent Thorn, maybe just a chapter or less before I hit the sack, and I'll pick up some more reading tomorrow, probably before school or on my lunch break. It's a teacher day, no kids, so I've got lots to do and won't be able to read much until school's over. But that's all for now. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Hey guys, it's been a couple days since I filmed anything on this vlog. It's now Wednesday night and it's 8:30, and it feels like I've been up for 36 hours with no sleep. That's not true, but just what it feels like. It was our first day of school today. Things went pretty well as far as masks and that kind of stuff goes, but the first day is always just exhausting. The last couple of days I haven't really read much, so when I got home and after I did a couple of homework things, I was able to finally dive more into Girl Serpent and Thorn. So I've now read the first 3 chapters, and I'm actually quite intrigued, and I want to keep reading, but I'm so tired. I don't know how much longer I can. So I'll just give you a little bit of information, what I know so far. Our main character, Soraya, has been cursed to be poisonous to the touch, so she can't even like hug her mom or anyway. She has to stay away, hidden in the castle, and only a few people know the reason why that she's hidden and that she's poisonous. And her twin brother is about to get married to this girl that kind of grew up together with them, and she did know Soraya's secret and was always kind to her and made her feel like she wasn't bad and those kind of things. So she's kind of upset right now at this point that they're getting married. But there's the girl, I want to call her Layla because that's how I'm pronouncing her name. It might be pronounced differently anyway. Brings her some news that a Div or demon has been captured, and Soraya has a lot of hope that maybe this demon will be able to break her curse. And so she asks her to go see the Div, and Layla's brother, who finds her on her way there and like basically chews her out, calls her garbage, like tells her she's awful and she doesn't deserve anything, and no, she can't go see this Div. So that's about where I'm at in the story. But I'm really interested to find out more about Soraya, our main character, as well as her relationships with Layla and the rest of the cast of characters. So that's going to be all for now. I will film more later. Good night. Hey there. So it's Saturday and it's about 5:30 in the evening, and I've been trying to read. This week has been so hard and so tiring with school and everything. I can't focus on a fictional book, and so I'm determined that I will finish Girl, Serpent, Thorn today. And I feel like if I stay here inside the house, I'm going to be distracted by my iPad or, the TV or other things. So I'm going to go venture outside to my front porch and try to focus and leave all the noisy stuff inside the house. Hello again. It's still Saturday, the 29th of August, and when I last spoke to you, I was going to go head outside to do some reading, and that worked like a charm for a little while. And where I live, we're in a cul-de-sac, and the houses are packed super tightly together, and my neighbors and their kids and their dogs came outside in their backyard, which they have every right to do, but they're really, 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 really noisy. And they have a little girl that loves to scream at the top of her lungs. So that was the end of that. But I did manage to get through chapter 15. I don't think I've shown my chapter tracker for this one yet in this vlog. It's not very good. It's a snake and some flowers and a sun. So I've colored in, obviously, the flowers and the outer circle of the sun. One more chapter and I'll finish with the sun and then move on to the snake to finish up the book. I was trying to find some things to just fit with this, so I chose the snake and flowers, and then I realized that I hadn't drawn the snake big enough. So that's why I added the sunshine on there. But anyway, I have to say that even though this week has been really hard and really busy and really tiring, every time that I've been inside of this book, I have been really, really engaged and loving it. It's been very interesting. I'm now about halfway through, maybe teeny tiny bit past half. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's really, really interesting. So, of course, we have Soraya, who's cursed to be poisonous to the touch. This guy, Azad, comes to the palace. He was, her brother, when her brother was traveling on the road, he got into a spot of trouble, and Azad came to his rescue. So they invited him to come along back to the palace and come for the wedding and things. And anyway, Azad is really intrigued because he'd heard stories about this mysterious princess that doesn't ever come out, and kind of had this like stars in his eyes, like fascination with her. And so they meet, and she goes, oh, someone else besides my family and my one friend wants to talk to me and is interested in me. And wow, That's really interesting. Some other things happen, but I don't want to get into spoilers here, because I know some of you have mentioned in the comments that you're still waiting to read this, and I don't want to mess up your reading experience for anyone, so I'm going to hold off on some of the other things that have happened in here, except to say that I did mention earlier, I believe, that Soraya was planning on going to see this Div or demon that has been captured, and she learns that this Div is a special kind, and she's actually a female who looks a lot like a human, and this Div woman, young woman, girl, whatever, has some interesting information to share with Soraya, particularly involving secrets that Soraya has never been privy to. So, yeah. If you're wondering if you should read this book, I would very much recommend it. Again, I haven't finished it. My plan is to finish it by the end of the day so that I can get editing this vlog on Sunday and maybe even uploading it. I don't know how soon it'll get uploaded, but anyway, go pick up this book if you're thinking about it. It's well worth the read. Yes, I'll see you again in a little while. Well, I finished. It only took me till just a couple minutes before midnight, but I finished it before Saturday was over. Yay. So, Girl, Serpent, Thorn. Oh, so many things. So many plot twists. So many feels like... I don't know if I can tell you anything else. I better not. I don't want to ruin this book's plot for you guys. Let me just say this. The way that this story shifted was very interesting and unexpected, and really unexpected in a good way, in that it was a surprise, but it was also like not a devastating surprise. It was like a, oh, okay, we're going in this direction now, and I really enjoyed it. In terms of romantic relationships, there is one at the end. It's not what I expected either. So that was also an interesting surprise, and there was a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess there was a lot of this kind of in my mind was like trying to balance between the darkness of the idea that she's poisonous and the idea of demons being in this world and that kind of thing, which is a dark kind of tone, but also how very loving she is, our main character Soraya, and how much she just wants a place in the world and just wants to be loved, and that is a primary motivation for most of the characters in this book. So overall, I really, really enjoyed it. I haven't run it through Compile yet. I'm guessing that it's going to end up in the 5-star range, if not the very high 4-star range, because I quite enjoyed it. I'm not sure what else to say. I think I'm too sleepy to come up with good, coherent thoughts, but I am going to wrap up this vlog. I have kind of talked you through 2 books that got the most votes when I asked you guys to pick something for me to read, and I now have approximately 3 days left in August. No, 2 days left in August to try to get my last August read in there, which is going to be Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palpretto. And I need to go to sleep because I'm clearly not coherent or making any sense in my words. So it's time for me to go to bed. It's probably time for you all to go do something fun and enjoyable. So have a wonderful and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.